Hey, Nixa Public Schools, Dr. Kopp here. And I wanted to share a little bit about some of the things that will look differently when our kids come back to school this year. Two of the main things we are going to focus on when our kids come back is sanitization for our hands and also physical distancing. And so you'll actually see one of these hand sanitizers in every classroom from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. And so when our kids come to school, time to sanitize. When our kids head to lunch, time to sanitize. When our kids get back from lunch, time to sanitize. We are going to be encouraging hand sanitizing all day long. And hopefully that will provide a nice level of protection for our students. Another thing that will be a little different for our students this year is having more space in our classrooms. Our teachers and administrators are looking at ways to create space in their classrooms. They will be trying their very best to develop physical distancing in each classroom. However, in some places where maybe there are tables, you may see dividers or barriers that will be set up to provide another layer of protection for our students. So a couple of things, simple things that we'll be doing, but I think things that will have a big impact on keeping our kids safe. We believe that with all of us working together, this school year has great promise. And now your principal will share more information about what's happening at your building.
Hey there, High Point families.
We want to welcome you back to a brand new school year. We're looking forward to lots of fun and great things this year. But at first, we've got some things that we need to share with you to help keep everybody safe. So come on in. One of the changes, boys and girls, if you were here during summer school, I know that you know this. We have hand sanitizing pumps at each entryway. When you come into the building, as Mr. Bennett is demonstrating here, you can hand sanitize by doing 2 pumps and then rubbing your hands together and making sure that your hands are clean. Those are at each doorway. Also, boys and girls, we have them in each classroom. In addition to hand sanitizing stations being at each of the entryways and in the classrooms, boys and girls, we will have those on the bus as well. So if you are a bus rider, when you get onto the bus, your bus driver will have that hand sanitizer there, and you are to go ahead and sanitize your hands before you sit down on the bus, okay? Okay, boys and girls, one thing that's going to be new for us, and it's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to have to learn to roll with it, but I know that you can because you are great leaders. It's the mask. Boys and girls, we are going to be required to wear a mask anytime we're in the hallway, anytime we are transitioning between one class to another class. Also, when you're on the bus, you're going to be required to wear the mask. Now, once we're in the classroom and we're able to social distance, then our mask can come off, okay? But we want to make sure that our hands are clean, and we want to make sure that you're healthy, okay? If you are sick or have any symptoms that you feel like you are sick, then we need you to stay home, okay? If you start feeling sick while you're at school, we're going to send you to Nurse Lindsay, and she's going to check you out, and she's going to call your parents and talk with them, okay? So, again, the mask anytime you're in the hallway and transitioning. When you're at recess or if you're eating lunch, the mask will not have to be on, okay? So, we're also going to provide lanyards for you so that you can hook your mask to your lanyard, okay? We don't want to be setting our mask down, and it's very, very important, boys and girls, that you wear your mask. We cannot trade our mask at school, okay? This is your mask. Mr. Bennett has on a really cool mask. I think mine's cool, but we're not going to trade masks, okay? Because remember, boys and girls, it's going to be very important that we keep our germs to ourselves and that we stay healthy. If I keep myself healthy, then I can keep Mr. Bennett healthy, and we can keep everybody else healthy. So do your part. We got to wear our mask while we're transitioning. Now that we're in the classroom, we can take our mask off as long as we are social distancing, okay? As you notice, Mr. Bennett is on the other side of the table, and there is something between us. This is called a partition, okay? We are going to have partitions in each of the classrooms. Some of them look like this plexiglass, and then some of them are just going to be plastic see-through partitions, okay? That is to help us maintain our safety and help us to social distance, okay? So if you're reading with your teacher will be on one side, and you'll be on the other side as Mr. Bennett is. And Mr. Bennett's picked out some great books here so that he can read his book and I can still hear him, or your teacher can still hear you. Our lanyards here are holding our mask, okay? We don't want to set our mask on the table because guess what, boys and girls? That spreads germs. So make sure that we keep our lanyards around our neck and keep our mask on our lanyards, and then we'll just put it safely in our laps. Another way to make sure that you're safe and everybody else around you is safe is to wash your hands, okay? Washing our hands is very important. And Mr. Bennett's going to demonstrate the proper way to wash our hands. Notice that he got his hands wet, and he has put a couple squirts of soap on there. He's washing the tops of his hands. He's washing the bottoms. And he's washing in between. And he's going to make sure that his fingertips are really clean too. And I noticed that he washed partway up on his wrist, okay, boys and girls? It's very, very important that we wash in this manner so that we can keep ourselves safe and wash away all of the germs. I like how Mr. Bennett is making sure that he's rinsing to getting the soap off. Good job, Mr. Bennett. Okay, and then he's going to grab a paper towel, a clean paper towel, and he's going to dry the bottoms of his hands, the tops of his hands, and he's going to dry in between his fingers just like he did when he washed his hands. Very good. And then he's going to take his paper towel and he's going to place it in the trash can. All right, boys and girls, before you leave the classroom to transition to either enrichment or recess or lunch, it's important that you either wash your hands, just like Mr. Bennett demonstrated for us, or use the hand sanitizer. And again, 2 squirts. Notice how Mr. Bennett is getting the tops of his hands, the bottoms of his hands, and between his fingers. Okay? Now, boys and girls, remember, once you've hand sanitized, please do not lick your fingers, okay? The hand sanitizer is to make sure that your hands stay clean so that if Mr. Bennett decides to go out to recess, as you guys will, whenever we're playing with the balls or being on the swings and stuff, our hands are clean and we're not sharing the germs, okay? You are likely hearing a lot of things about social distancing, okay? And you're probably wondering what in the world that means. Well, for us in the classroom, boys and girls, what that means is we're going to have to space ourselves out just a little bit more. Okay, we've already talked about having the desk barriers with the shields around on the desk. However, boys and girls, we have carpet time. So when we're at the carpet time, instead of sitting right next to your buddy, shoulder to shoulder, we're going to have space this year, okay? It doesn't mean that we can't be friends. We definitely can be friends, but it's important that we leave space between each other so that we are social distancing. Hey, boys and girls, guess where I'm at? You got it. I'm in the kitchen. And guess what? I have my mask on, okay? So, again, you will know, as usual, our cooks, our kitchen staff will have their gloves on, and they will be wearing masks this year as well, okay? When we get outside and we have teachers on duty in the cafeteria to help you, they will also be wearing gloves and they will be wearing their mask, okay? We have Mr. Bennett over here. He is transitioning. He's getting ready to walk through the line to grab his tray, okay? Notice he has his mask on, okay? Our mask will stay on until we actually sit at the table to eat our food, okay, boys and girls? Remember, mask stays on anytime we're walking from our classroom to another location in the building, outside, to PE, to any of your enrichments, the mask must stay on. So remember, walking through the line in the kitchen, masks are on. When we sit down to eat, you can take your mask off. We're outside now. You guessed it. We are on the playground. Everyone's favorite place to be, okay? Hey, our rules haven't changed. We still want to be safe, kind, and responsible on the playground. But one thing I want parents to know is that our playgrounds will be sanitized on a regular basis. We have phenomenal custodians here at High Pointe, and they've been given some extra cleaning supplies. Also, when we're on the playground, boys and girls, I know we like to play tag and things like that. You'll still be able to run around and have lots of fun, but we are going to ask you to keep your hands to yourself and try to social distance as much as possible. We are on the playground. We are outside and everything. And again, our masks do not have to be worn when we're outside or even when you're in PE class. Anytime you're having physical activity, boys and girls, the masks do not have to be worn, but we still want to practice social distancing. And again, social distancing for us at the elementary level means that we are just leaving some spaces in between us and our friends. We've talked about wearing our mask, okay? One more place that you have to wear your mask is during dismissal time, okay? When we're transitioning from your classroom to dismissal, we have 2 options, and parents, this is going to be a little bit of a change from last year. We have 2 options for dismissal, okay? One is stay in your car and pick your child up around the Circle Drive. The other option is for your child to ride the bus, okay? During summer school, we experimented with this where parents had to stay in the car to pick up their kid or ride the bus, and it worked out very well. It is a little bit of a change, and I'm going to apologize in advance as our lines will be a little bit long, especially the first few days of school, but if you'll bear with us and just give us a little bit of grace on that, we will get that line moving as quick as we can. And again, kiddos, during that that dismissal time, you have to wear your mask, okay? You have to wear your mask on the bus. As soon as you get in your parent's vehicle, you are welcome to take your mask off, okay? Again, parents, 2 options. Your child may ride the bus, or you can stay in the car line. This year, we're not going to be doing any dismissal from the foyer where parents can walk up to the foyer and pick up their child. This is an effort of keeping everybody safe, and we appreciate your flexibility and grace in that area. Thank you.